Hi guys, I just thought I would test a few pencils for you just to show the differences between different types, because I know when you first start out colouring, um, this kind of thing can make a difference in what choice you make in what pencil that you do get. I know when I first started, I just had a packet of classic colour Faber-Castell pencils, a 30 pack from I don't know, Officeworks or something like that, so it was about $12 for the packet. But I wanted to show you the difference between that and, say, a Prismacolor or the Faber-Castell Polychromos pencils. So that's what I'm going to do today. So I've got a couple of different brands. I've got Stabilo Carbothello chalk pencils. I have the watercolor Faber-Castell pencils. I've also got Faber-Castell Polychromos. I've got classic Faber-Castells. I've got Artist Derwent pencils. I've got some Bruynzeel pencils, Prismacolor pencils, and I think that's about all I've got today. I probably do have other types around, but this is what I've got for now. So first of all, I thought I'll start with the classic Faber-Castell pencils. I've got, let me just pick a couple of colours here. This is what they look like. So they're usually pencils that you would get in a school stationery pack or something like that. But they're actually not too bad. So I've got some paper here. It's got a fairly fine tooth on it. It's not very heavy paper. The other side is heavier, but I'm just going to use this side for now. So let's just have a quick look. I'll use some light texture first. And then I'll just do some heavy for you as well. I'm actually going to zoom in on this so you can actually see what the texture of the pencil looks like there already. Okay, and I'm just going to, so that was a dark orange colour. I'm just going to blend it out with a little bit light orange now. I'm going to use light to start with, and then heavy. And now I've got a yellow colour, so I'm just coming over the top of that again. So as you can see they're not fantastic at blending. With the lighter colours there, I'll just try to do some dark from the top. And I'll just bring that out a little bit lighter here and see if that helps with the blending. One thing I did notice when using these is that you get little white patches on your work like this, and it's like a clear piece of the pencil has gone on and you just can't go over the top of it. It just stays like that. So I'm just going to come in and see if I can blend that out. Not too bad. So for someone starting out, you could still use the pencils. You would have a little bit of trouble blending them nicely. I'm just going to come back out there now. So there you can see there how it's still a little bit textured. I'll try just the blending stick just to push it down a little bit. It doesn't seem to move any of the colour, so it doesn't really make much difference. Got the darker colour moving on the outside there, but that's pretty much it. Okay, so that's the classic ones. Okay. So then we've got our our next level, which is Polychromos. So I'll get similar colours out there. So I've got a orange glaze. So I'll do lightly first. bring that back up into the screen there for you. And then I'll do dark on this side. Okay, so I'll go to the next lightest colour, which was dark chrome yellow. Just doing it lightly first. And then I'm going to go over the top of that with the dark cadmium yellow. So one first thing that stands out is that there's a lot more colours in between the darkest colour on this one and the lightest colour, whereas there's only 3 colours in between here. So this one I've actually got, I could go brighter again and do light chrome yellow or light cadmium yellow or lemon. So you can actually go further in shades when blending, which is a good thing to have. And then I've just blended that in there. Okay, so that's actually blended quite nicely with the blending stub too. It's a bit dirty, so just get all that colour off. But with the pencil too, you can blend and smooth that colour out a bit. So there, now it's blended nice and smooth. I just want to try that on this side. No, you do need to put a little bit of pressure on to burnish that paper before you use the stick, otherwise you get the grainy look. Just give that a try on this side actually. So yeah, on the classics it's the same, it's still... So you can see there's a big difference between them. Obviously I'm doing it quite rough too, so if I was being a lot neater and blending that out a little bit better, you get a better look. So when I say blending that out better, it means that I would put higher pressure on first, and then I would slowly bring that out to light pressure, and then I would come over the top of that with colour. So I'm doing it firm and I'm slowly bringing the pressure up to very, very light pressure. So then now I could blend the next colour over it, fairly dark. And then I would release the pressure up further. Big difference there. Alright, so that's the Polychromos. I've got the acrylic pencils here, the watercolour ones. So I've got a similar colour palette there. Dark chrome yellow, orange, cadmium orange, and I've got dark cadmium orange. So just using them as pencils. Doing light colour. There's a lot of pigment in these pencils, so they are quite dark. Coming over that with the next colour. And then the lighter colour that I had. So that's what they look like just by using them as pencils. So blending would be very, very similar. They're very, very soft. I actually would never ever use them like this because they are watercolour pencils. I would usually use water, but you get lighter again there to blend to the next colour. Darker. And then lighter. And then the lighter one. So that's just using them as pencils. Now as watercolour, I would do a light layer of that colour. And I've got some watercolour pens here. Just get one working before I bring it on there. Right, found one with water in it. So this is just a watercolour pen. It's just a blank brush and it holds just normal water, so you don't actually need to use and dip and things like that with it. So just using some water there, I would just spread that out. As you can see, that colour is really, really rich. So I would sometimes just blend like that. Just get rid of some of that water. Or I do light colour, the next lightest colour, and then the next lightest colour up there. And just really, really light pressure, because you'll be able to see the pencil marks underneath the water if you don't. And then just blend that up. So there's lots of different ways you can use them. You can use them on lots of different types of paper. It depends on how much water you're going to use. If you are going to use a lot of water and you want to get a real watercolour effect, you would obviously use watercolour paper and watercolour brushes that hold more water. Okay, so that's that one done. Now I'm just going to have a quick look at some just normal artist Derwent pencils. I actually had a large pack of them at school. I never ever used them until I started colouring, doing colouring myself, which was about 2 years ago, and I hated them. Some people really love them. I can't seem to get good colour out of them. I think they're too hard. So I'll just give you an example here now. I've got 3 pencils here, similar colours to what I've used: deep chrome, deep cadmium, and Naples yellow. So I'm just going to do some light colouring. They are quite hard. I find I can't seem to get a smooth flat look without getting marks on my page or deep indentations with colour pigment in them. So I'll do heavy. The colours I find are not constant either. Trying to do that so I can blend it. And the next lightest colour. So they are a lot more pastel than the other colours that I've used. Lighten that up a bit, do a light layer over that one. And then the lightest colour. They kind of remind me of the classic Faber-Castell pencils. They are a lot firmer. I just want to have a look at the rough side of the paper with more tooth and see if that makes a difference. You do get a little bit more colour off using a heavier tooth. But when you're burnishing the paper there, you get streaks and marks, and it's not nice and smooth. And I know you cannot go over the top of it once it's been burnished, so Okay, so now I've got Polly's, watercolour, their Faber-Castell, and then we've got Derwent Artist. Okay, those away. So if you are going to invest in something, a lot of people think that the Derwents are quite good. I would save and get Polly's. They're very, very similar type of pencil. It's just that you're getting the colour layered down a lot better than with the Derwents. So then I brought some Bruynzeel pencils here. Just grab those out. I did find the pencils weren't made very well, so I did have trouble sharpening them. They kept breaking, you can see there. And let's just pop the colour down. They're not too bad in colour. It depends on what type of paper you do have. So this is the soft side again. I'll just start lightly. And we'll burnish that one. Just lighten it up at the top there to blend the next colour in. Okay, next colour. They don't actually have colours on them either, they're just numbers. Yeah, we'll go over that one. So I'm putting hard pressure down there where I'm blending it, and then lighter at the top so the next colour will blend in. Not too bad. I'm still getting some marks in there where the pencil has dug into the paper and burnished it already, so I couldn't get any more colour over it. Just try the blending stub on that one. You can still see it even with that. Okay, so that's those ones. Now I grabbed different coloured Prismacolor pencils there, so okay, and this is what I had out, so I'll just use these. I've got Prismacolors now. Some red and some hot pink. So just do light pressure. Now what I love about Prismacolor pencils is that you can blend and blend and blend, and you can build layers and layers and layers. So when you're doing light colour like this, you can do multiple layers over and over until you do get to having no tooth, which is fantastic. They're really oily and very, very soft. Do some burnishing here. They have vibrant colours. That's what I love about Polly's and Prismacolors. There's a wide variety of colours. Obviously Prismacolor has a lot more than what Faber-Castell does. And then I'm just going to lighten that pressure up there a bit. Come back in with the light pink. So even though I've burnished the bottom layer there, I can still go over it with the lighter colour. Gives it a nice blend transition. I only had those colours, so I'm just going to leave it there. Also the white, I can bring that up further. Putting white over the top of it. The white will go over the top of all of that, because it's nice and soft. So you can blend using a white pencil, which is fantastic. I use this with a lot of the other pencils. The only thing is you do get lots of dust there. That. A nice transition. You can use a blending stub too. It will blend further out. Still got a bit of orange on there, sorry. And you can still find that even though I've burnished that paper and you can see the shine from the light there on it, I can still go over it again with that darker colour and put a little bit more depth in. So they are brilliant because you can layer and layer and layer with them. They are the only pencil that I have used that does do that. I do get really sore hands though using them because you're constantly blending and building colour. So overall, I think my favourite medium is Copic markers because you don't have to put a lot of pressure on them to get the similar look. So that's quite pretty. The colours are really, really smooth and thick. There's no gaps in it like the other burnished ones. Yeah. So that's all of those pencils there. Now, in saying all that, if you were to have a blending stub with some solvent on it, like I use Zest-it, there's a couple of others that you can get. You can get a similar look by blending that in with a solvent. So what I'll do is I'll just grab a solvent and show you that as well. So I've just got Zest-it. I've got a little sponge that I put it on as well, but I've just stuck it on top of the blending stub there. I've got other colours on here, I do apologise, but I haven't had a chance to clean them off. So let's just start with the classic ones first. So that has blended that pencil perfect. So if you have only got something like that, there is no reason that you couldn't get a nice blend with it using a solvent. It's inexpensive. It's just, I actually got mine from the art shop. They ship out too, so got some there. You could also get it off other stores as well. But I'll just do a little bit more on this Polychromos one. The green's coming off a little bit there. Nice and smooth. So let's go, we won't do the watercolour one because obviously we know how to smooth that off with water. I'm going to try the Derwent ones here. I'm going to use a cleaner end though because that one's pretty bad. So just got it on there. Rub that one in. Smooth again. Now in theory I didn't actually put a lot of pressure on these, so I should be able to come back over with a little bit more colour and fill in more over the top of that, as long as I haven't put a lot of pressure on my blending stub, of course. Let's go to the bronzier ones. I did it on both sides then. Nice and smooth. We'll go to Prisma. Prisma now. I had a little bit of brown on my blending stub, so it's gone on that one. So there you have it. So really, no matter what pencil that you do use, you should be able to get a nice look using a solvent if you can't get it with the actual pencils themselves. The only thing is with using a solvent, the other side of the paper, it sometimes goes through, so you can sometimes see it there. And on colouring books, most colouring pages are quite thin, so would just be wary using it on colouring books. Just give it a test first on a test page. But yeah, that's it there. I have used the watercolour pencils in some colouring books and they're not too bad as long as you're using a little amount of water. I'm just going to try this stub up the top here and see if that will blend the classics in nicely. Just started from the lighter colour out then, just so I didn't put all that dark into there. That's not too bad. So all in all, I think I like the Polys, Polychromos and the Prismacolors the best, these two here, because I find that I can blend a lot better. I can build up a lot more colour using these pencils, whereas with the others I do find I have trouble and I do have to use more solvents. So yeah, if you are going to invest in some pencils, then hopefully this will help you to decide what type. There are heaps of other types out there. These are just the ones that I had on hand straight up. So hopefully that helps. Bye guys. I just realised I forgot to do the Stabilo Carbothello chalk pastels. These are a little bit different. They are a pastel, not a pencil, but I just wanted to show you how they work. Just got a dark orange colour. Next lightest colour. I would actually blend that out before I added the next colour on. And then I've got some yellow there. So there you have it. They're just pastels, but you can, because they're in a pencil form, it's easier to maneuver them. You can just blend with your finger or cotton bud or cotton pad, anything like that. But they're just pastel pencils. So that's it. Oops, and just before I go, I did realise I did have a couple more, one more type of pencil. I have got the Derwent Inktense. I've got a small set. So they are very, very similar to the Faber-Castell ones, except the Inktense are a lot brighter. So I've got Tangerine here and I've also got Sun Yellow. So I'll just quickly pop them on here and give you a quick look at that. I'm not going to bother doing both sides. I'm just going to do the one and just show you with the water there. These are a little less grainy than the Faber-Castell ones. They are a little bit smoother, so you could use them more as pencils as well here. but they come up absolutely beautiful with water. They're so vibrant and bright. I'm just grabbing a pen here. Just bring that in a little bit for you there. And I'm going to paint this on gently. So as you can see there, it's lovely and bright and vibrant. You could just do the dark colour first, and then once that's dry you can then pop some of the lighter colour over the top of it. But there's lots of different effects that you can do with that one. So that's the Derwent Inktense, beautiful colours. I do use a fair bit of water with them. If you didn't want to use as much water, just don't use as much, or don't make the pencils as firm when you're laying them down. So there's a couple of those there for you. Okay, I think that's it now. Thanks for listening, guys. Bye. So guys, hopefully that helps you, and just a quick tip that I had, and because I had those pencils available, I thought I might as well just show you the differences, especially if you're starting off new and you're not sure what to go for. Basically, I have spent a fair bit on pencils. It's been good though, learning and having a look at the different styles and things like that. All the pencils are slightly different in the way that you do have to use them. But yeah, I just hope that that helps you, and we'll see you for the next tutorial coming soon.